making their only visit to Rogers Center. We're in Toronto this evening. Tigers fans galore all around the city and in the ballpark tonight, hoping the Tigers can improve on their road trip numbers. Here's the starting lineup for Detroit. It is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for the Tigers tonight, Rajai Davis leads off. He's in center field, followed by Kinsler and Cabrera. Victor Martinez, your DH. Torrey Hunter back in the lineup. He is feeling well enough to play. And why not? Look at his numbers against R.A. Dickey. J.D. Martinez in left, Alex Avila will catch, and then you've got Castellanos and Eugenio Suarez rounding it out, and they will face the right-handed offerings of R.A. Dickey.
Well, when you know you go up against Dickey, you know you're going to get a lot of knuckleballs, but it's not going to be the same knuckleball that the Tigers saw earlier this year. He was throwing that knuckleball a lot harder. He's throwing some at 80 miles an hour, some at 75, some at 65 miles an hour, so he's changing speeds with his knuckleball. Let's take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays starting defense. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons, Cabrera, Rasmus, Bautista in the outfield. How about R.A. Dickey? Last year, 2013, he won a Gold Glove, which was the first of his career. He's also won a Cy Young when he was pitching for the New York Mets a few years ago.
And his first pitch of tonight's ball game is low to Rajai Davis, who starts it off for Detroit. It'll be Davis, Kinsler, and Cabrera in the first inning. Rajai, the former Toronto Blue Jay, looks at a ball outside, and the count runs 2-0. 294 for Davis this year, 36 driven in. He'll drive the next one foul back into the seats. 2-1 on Davis. Well, the Tigers have to get the bats going. It's as simple as that. They've been pitching some marvelous baseball, but in that series against the Yankees, they hit just 173. Now the 2-1 pitch. That'll be a fair ball inside the bag at first base. Extra bases. Rajai motoring towards second. And he's going to hold there with a leadoff double, and that's a nice start.
That's a real nice job by Rajai Davis. A very patient at bat. The count was 2-1, but he still wasn't very aggressive. Your approach against Dickey has to be the same as Rajai Davis, trying to drive the ball up the middle or the other way. If you try to pull Dickey, you're going to have a bad day.
Two-base hit starts it off, and now Ian Kinsler will stand in. Tigers yesterday were shut out in New York, and today a much better start. We'll see if they can get Davis in here in the very first inning. Kinsler was 3 for 17 in that series against the Yanks. And he fouls off the first one 0-1.
Jose Reyes has a responsibility of keeping Rajai Davis close at second base. Goins, their second baseman, knows that Kinsler's trying to hit something in his direction, so he's a little bit further over in the hole.
Kinsler at 59 RBIs, leads the ball club in hits. Ian comes in at 134. Tops on the team. The 0-1 is hit in the air to right field. Bautista's on the move. Runner will tag, and Davis is headed to third base, and he'll get there standing up. One gone. Well, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you'll get yourself a free small order of curly fries.
Tigers fans just might be eating some curly fries tomorrow because the ball flies in this ballpark.
Yeah, I've got that same feeling. We'll see if the Tigers can oblige with 3 long balls.
And the roof is open as well.
Beautiful night here in Toronto. Starting a 3-game weekend series. There it is, the roof wide open. Much different feel when you get the sunlight dropping into the ballpark. Cabrera had a rip, and he fouled it straight back, 0-1.
And watch Miggy take batting practice today. Every ball that he hit toward right field. He is very conscious of the fact that he's been pulling off the baseball in that New York series. And I think a lot of Tigers were pulling off the baseball in that series with their front shoulder.
Ball outside, 1-1. It was really odd to see how the ball club struggled as much as they did in New York based on what they did in the last 3 games of the homestand. And they crushed the ball against the Rockies. That is popped up right side of the infield, foul ground, and playable for Danny Valencia, and that is a big out. 2 gone. So Cabrera is unable to drive in the run.
I told you Dickey's throwing that knuckleball a lot slower. And that was a really slow knuckleball, acted almost like a breaking ball, had Miguel folded out in front. Therefore, all he could do was pop it up.
So it'll be up to Victor Martinez to drive in the run with 2 outs. And Victor looks at strike 1. Didn't like it, apparently. Mike Everett is your home plate umpire. Martinez really was the only Tiger that did a whole lot in that series against the Yankees. He was 6 for 15. And he shoots it on the ground to short. Reyes on the backhand. He has plenty of time, and the threat fizzles for the Tigers. No runs. A leadoff double is stranded at third. We'll go to the bottom of the first at Rogers Center. Jays now in the bottom of the first inning. Their starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Jose Reyes leading it off at short, followed by Melky Cabrera, and then Jose Bautista, who's had good numbers at home against the Tigers. Navarro, Valencia, Rasmus, Kawasaki, Tolle, and Goins rounding out the lineup. And they are facing Anibal Sanchez, who is presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, you saw Jose Bautista. If you're Anibal Sanchez, you want to stay away from him with runners in scoring position. Anibal had 12 strikeouts against the Colorado Rockies his last time up. He was simply a bully with that mid-90s fastball.
So now the speedy Jose Reyes will step in, trying to get things started here for the Jays, batting .282. Power in his bat as well. He's got 8 home runs, and he shoots the first one in the year to left. J.D. Martinez started back. Now he's under it. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense. It's presented by Beaumont Health System. J.D. Martinez in left. Rajay Davis is in center. Torrey Hunter is back out there after getting hit on the hand a couple of days ago. It's still swollen, but he took extra batting practice today and said he was good to go. Suarez, Kinsler up the middle. Castellanos and Miggy on the corners, and Avila is the catcher tonight.
Good to see Torrey out there. He is certainly not nearly 100%, but Brad said before the game today was able to swing it, was able to clutch the glove, so that's good enough. Melky Cabrera stands in now. And Cabrera looks at strike 1. He's got that front elbow heavily taped. He was drilled by a pitch last night in their game here.
Absolutely smoked in his first at bat.
But he is out there as well. Not only wrapped up, but he's got the elbow pad. .315 average. And Cabrera looks at a strike.
He was a designated hitter last night when he got hit. John Gibbons was trying to give him a night off his feet on this Astro turf, but he didn't stay in the game very long, so he did get the remainder of the evening off after he was hit in the first inning.
Now Sanchez with the 0-2. High 1-2.
One thing about Melky Cabrera, he can flat out hit. He does not walk all that often. If you throw him a fastball in the fastball count, He usually does a lot of damage, and he's done a lot of damage against Sanchez.
Yeah, there aren't too many guys with numbers like that against Anibal.
He was going to play today regardless of what happened last night.
There's a swing and a miss, so maybe that elbow was bothering him there. There are two gone. First strikeout of the ball game for Sanchez.
Nice changeup there. Sanchez is going to need the changeup today against a lot of the left-handed batters. He can't simply try to overpower the Toronto team like he overpowered the team 5 decades ago. That would be Colorado. Actually, that was a fastball thrown by Sanchez.
So here is Jose Bautista batting with the bases empty. .462 this year. Had a big series earlier in June against the Tigers. And he takes ball 1 outside. Bautista at .295 is well over his 16 games hitting pretty well. He's hit at a .345 clip. And in that stretch, 5 home runs. So Sanchez will try and keep him in the ballpark. The 1-0 is outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Bautista. Without Encarnacion sitting behind him in that lineup, boy, it's a different dynamic for Toronto. Now Sanchez ready with the 2-0 pitch. And it's a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Bautista always has been known as a dead pull hitter, but this year he is going to right field a little bit more often. Their new hitting coach, Kevin Seitzer, has gotten him to buy into the fact that they usually overshift defensively against Bautista, so take some of those hits the other way, especially with 2 strikes.
That is fouled straight back. There's Kevin Seitzer, the former Kansas City Royal in his playing days, had a good hitting career with the Royals.
That was his approach. He used a big part of the ballpark, a lot of base hits right up the middle, a lot of hits the other way. If a pitcher makes a mistake, Bautista can do a lot of damage to left field, but he was not hitting the ball to right field with any authority whatsoever.
Another foul straight back.
Another thing with Bautista, he stands right on top of the plate. So if you're Anibal Sanchez, if you're really going to have success against him, you can't be afraid to go inside. I mean, literally hands resting right over the top of home plate with that high leg kick.
That's a great shot right there. 2-2. Run it full now. 3-2 on Jose Bautista. 68 driven in this year for the right fielder of the Blue Jays. Sanchez ready with the 3-2. And Bautista checked his swing. It's outside, ball 4.
That was a pretty good pitch.
Bautista's done a lot of that. Second in the majors in walks.
Yeah, he's walked 76 times now. And because he has walked so many times, he has the best on-base percentage in the American League as well.
Mr. Foxtrax saying that one was just a touch outside. Here's Deoner Navarro. He's batting in the cleanup slot, the DH for the Jays. Navarro over his last 22 hitting at a .322 clip. .271 overall.
It appears that the first 4 hitters in the lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays, if you can slow them down, you can usually have a pretty good day against their offense.
There's a fly into shallow center field. Looks like it might drop, and it does. Just out of the reach of Suarez. Bautista gets to third. It's a bloop single. Sounded like a broken bat single as well. 2 on and 2 out.
It's the first day that Suarez has played since hurting his knee in New York. But he ran after that ball pretty good. Just couldn't get there.
Suarez hurt that knee sliding into second base game 1 in the series against the Yankees. Did not play the rest of that series.
Andrew Romine had a pretty good series though.
He did. He filled in admirably. Here's Valencia. Danny Valencia has played with several different teams in his major league career. He has now landed in Toronto.
We saw him with Baltimore earlier this year.
We did. And he takes ball 1 inside.
Playing first base here today.
Former Rookie of the Year candidate, finished third in the Rookie of the Year voting several years back. It was 2010. He's trying to pick up Bautista and Navarro. A walk and a bloop single for the Jays here in the first. And Sanchez missing high, 2-0. Honeyball got out to a nice start, got a quick fly ball from Reyes. He struck out Cabrera, two of their better hitters. But now trying to pitch out of a first inning jam. Valencia waiting on a 2-0. 2-1. Sanchez, start number 21 on the season, looking for his 9th victory. ERA a little bit over 3.37. Now the 2-1. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike on Valencia. Here's what Sanchez has done on the road this year. 4-0 with a 2.95. Well, his numbers at home not quite that good, but still an ERA of about 3.5. Very admirable, even though he has a sub 500 record at home. Now the 3-1. Lifted back out of play, so the count fills at 3-2 on Valencia. And that means Navarro will be off and running from first base. Tigers had a chance in the top of the inning. Leadoff double by Davis. They got him to third, and then he was stranded. And now the Jays trying to make good on a 2-out threat. Colby Rasmus waiting on deck. The 3-2. Line drive, base hit, left field. Bautista scores. Navarro will go to second and stop there. The ball is kicked by J.D. Martinez. And Toronto has a 1-0 lead. Valencia's second RBI for the Blue Jays.
Anibal Sanchez left the pitch up in the strike zone at 88 miles an hour, and it's a slider. And Valencia was all over it.
Hit hard into left field. The Jays have taken a 1-0 lead, and out Colby Rasmus. So Toronto was able to make good on a 2-out threat. A walk, a single, and another base hit. Rasmus has hit safely in his last 5, but he's batting just .221. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Take a look at the home plate umpire here, Mike Everett. I mean, he's jockeying for a position to see, because look at the hands of Rasmus, the hitter. He's right over at the top of the plate, and the umpire at home plate really doesn't get a good look at it initially until he swings the bat. I mean, take a look at where he sits. I mean, right in the face of the umpire.
Swing and a miss. You really don't see too many guys hold their hands out that far, do you?
No, you don't. And he's on top of the plate, too. These Blue Jay hitters, they dare you to throw them fastballs. Good changeup down and away would get Rasmus to strike out, though. Anibal Sanchez has really had his number. Another look at how close he is to home plate.
Now we'll see now if Sanchez can finish him off. The 0-2. He does. Swing and a miss. Rasmus goes down on 3 pitches, and that'll end it for the Blue Jays. They get a run on 2 hits and lead 2. the Blue Jays. They got a run on the RBI single by Danny Valencia. Now Torrey Hunter leads it off for Detroit. Looks at strike one. Hunter, J.D. Martinez, and then Alex Avila facing the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. Torrey back in the lineup. And he looks at a ball outside after he was struck on the left hand.
Biggest test for Torrey Hunter will be on a check swing. No problem taking early batting practice as he did here today at about 2 o'clock.
Fouled straight back.
But on a pitch like that will simply tell you how much pain he is in, if he's in any pain whatsoever.
Almost sounded like he groaned after swinging the bat.
It sure did.
Man.
He's got a pad on his hand as well to protect it.
Sends a ground ball left side, deep in the hole, base hit. Torrey finds a seam, and the leadoff man is on. Second straight inning the Tigers have done that. Here are predictions for today's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's new triple cheeseburger for just $2. I'm going to go with the guy that has that short, compact swing against the knuckleballer, Avila.
I've got Sanchez tonight.
And Trevor's going with Torrey Hunter.
Trevor looking good so far.
Yeah, leader in the clubhouse. J.D. Martinez will stand in. Second hit of the ball game for the Tigers. Martinez at 304. Hunter dives back in. J.D. was just 1 for 15 in that series against the Yankees, but he did hit a couple of balls hard straight at a couple of defenders. Another throw back, and Hunter just gets back in.
You would think that you could steal bases at will against a knuckleballer because he usually floats the ball to home play about 70 miles an hour, but you can't against R.A. Dickey. He's got a slide step, and even though he throws a knuckleball, it takes very little time getting to the catcher's glove. Therefore, he's very difficult to run on.
Bouncing ball left side, scooting to his right is Reyes. There's one. Not in time as Martinez beats it out.
It's a good aggressive slide by Torrey Hunter. It was not going to be a double play ball, but Goins, the second baseman, tried to use the bag to defend it, but Torrey Hunter simply hit the bag, slid right over it, trying to disrupt Goins from turning over that double play.
Boy, Reyes got rid of that ball in a hurry.
Reyes has got a great arm, too. Very accurate with it, too.
Hit him right in the chest.
Yes, he did.
He can play that position, and he can hit. So with one on, one out, here is Avila. Alex at 219, had a couple of hits in the series against the Yankees, including the game-winning home run in the 12th inning in Game 1 in that series. And he looks at ball one high. Avila has had success against Dickey over the years, 4 for 10 against him. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes on Alex.
When I said Valencia played last year, or this year, I should say, for Baltimore, he actually played for Baltimore a couple of years ago. We saw him in a Kansas City Royals uniform earlier this year.
He has bounced around since that really good rookie season with the Minnesota Twins. Now the 2-0. It gets away from Tolley, but not far enough.
Tolley is a personal catcher for R.A. Dickey. As a matter of fact, he came from the New York Mets in the same deal with R.A. Dickey.
It was a deal in which the Blue Jays gave up a couple of pretty good players. Travis d'Arnaud was a highly thought of catching prospect. Syndergaard, the highly thought of pitching prospect.
Toronto was getting the reigning Cy Young Award winner.
Here's the 2-1. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Slightly bigger glove used by Tolley. It's almost like a first baseman's glove. It's not thick like your normal catcher's glove. It's almost like an in between a first baseman's glove and a catcher's mitt.
Avila waits on a 3-1. Here it is. And he swings and rolls it foul right by the first base coach Vizquel. 3-2 now on Avila. These two teams met earlier this year back in June, early June at Comerica Park, and well, the Blue Jays came in and they looked like world beaters. Then they swept the Tigers 3 in a row.
At that time, they were the best team that we had seen so far in the season. They were on fire.
They had all their pieces at that time too. Swing and a miss. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Goes into center field. Martinez on his way to third. Gets in there standing up. The strikeout of Avila and the throw by Tolley sailed into center.
It almost like nobody was on the bag. Everybody was late getting there, although Reyes was standing right there. He didn't vacate his position until it was too late. Then he simply didn't reach for the ball. I guess it was that poor of a throw.
Martinez coming in hard as well. He was coming right into the path of the baseball. And so JD quickly got up, went to third base. Tigers now have the tying run at third with 2 outs for Castellanos. And Nick looks at a strike. He has been bumped down to 8th in the lineup here tonight. Tigers trying to get his bat going. Wave and a miss. Quickly 0-2. Castellanos this year 41 driven in, was just 1 for 11 in the Yankee series. R.A. Dickey ready with the 0-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dickey. The Tigers strand a man at third for the second straight inning. Glorious night for baseball here in Toronto as the Tigers take on these Blue Jays here in game 1 of the series, and right now it's 1-0 Jays as Munenori Kawasaki stands in. 7-8-9 facing the right-hander Sanchez, and the first one is in for a strike on Kawasaki. Josh Tolley to follow, then Ryan Goins. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And Kawasaki takes it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 284 batting average for the Jays third baseman tonight. Here's the 1-1. Kawasaki was bending out of the box, and it's 1-2.
A good changeup thrown there by Sanchez. Probably crossed the plate at the knees, but when Avila caught it, it was low.
Sanchez started the first inning by recording 2 outs, then a walk, a bloop single, And a base hit by Valencia made it 1-0.
Looks like Anibal wants back-to-back changeups.
Even the count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kawasaki. Eight RBIs this year, has not homered. Very affable personality. They love him here in Toronto.
They sure do.
And he slaps one toward left field. This looks like trouble. Oh, off the glove of Martinez, who almost made a nice running play. Kawasaki is on his way to second, and he'll pull in there. J.D. Martinez almost ran that one down in the gap.
J.D. was playing shallow to begin with. He had to get on his horse to catch the ball, at least get to it, which he did. He took a direct route to get there, but he failed to close the glove once the ball went in the palm of the glove, and it trickled away from him before Rajai Davis could pick it up. Kawasaki standing on second base.
That'll bring up Josh Thole. 2-base hit for Kawasaki. Thole batting .293. Showing bunt, trying to move the runner up, and he takes ball 1. Thole has hit safely in his last 4. Looks like his mission here is to get Kawasaki to third base. And he squares again, lays it down to third. Castellanos will make the play, advance the runner on the sacrifice by Thole. Well, we have a chance. Let's check in now with Trevor Thompson.
Mario was talking with Rajai Davis before the game, and of course he played 3 seasons with the Blue Jays, and they've got artificial turf down here. And he said twice a homestand they would have an active relief specialist or an acupuncturist come in and work on the guys, especially the outfielders, to keep their back, their knees, their all their limbs limber. He said it made all the difference in the world in him being able to play every day and be healthy and pain-free on this artificial turf. He really misses it, but then again, he's got grass at Comerica Field to play on. Back on the turf here this series, though. Back up to you.
All right, Trev, thanks. Infield is in now for the Tigers. Boy, it certainly makes a difference when you play all of your home games on a turf like this as opposed to grass.
That's right. I was talking to Dave Clark today, who handles the outfielders, and he said this AstroTurf is really bouncy this year. He says on balls that Tigers outfielders can't get to, they have to recognize very early, back up to make sure the balls don't bounce over their heads.
Ryan Goins, the batter.
Ian Kinsler also told me that more than likely during the course of the season, as we did look at Dave, who handles the outfielders, Kinsler told me he will typically play about 2-3 steps deeper than he plays on real grass. This is the first time they've played on AstroTurf this year.
And you can even see the seams in the turf here. That bounces in. Nice block there by Avila.
That presents another problem in itself.
Of course, the Toronto Argonauts also play here, and you can see some of the seams. And if you catch it just right, you can get a wicked hop. Here's the you can see the football field in the middle.
Right there. It's about the 50-yard line right there.
Touchdown, Rod Allen. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ryan Goins. And it's a squeeze. He lays it down. The run will score, and Goins is safe at first base.
It's a nice job by John Gibbons. Caught everybody off guard. It's a great count to do it in. It's 2 balls and it's 1 strike. You know Sanchez has to throw the ball over the plate, and Goins was very patient and simply got it down, which allowed Kawasaki to score.
That was not a safety squeeze. He was coming.
Oh, no, that's a suicide squeeze, they call it. That ball actually was hit hard enough, bunted hard enough by Goins that Sanchez should have used the glove with the backhand.
So everybody safe on the play. It's 2-0 Toronto. Gibbons employing the squeeze here in the second. Goins his 11th RBI as Brad Ausmus is coming out now, and is he challenging something here? Ausmus slowly walking out to the first base area. It looked like Goins was safe at first. I don't know if he's going to challenge that.
I guess he wants to take a look at something. Well, he went to the first base umpire, so that indicates that's where he wants to challenge, correct?
It appears that way. Yeah, he walked straight out there.
Adrian Johnson is the first base umpire here tonight.
The crew chief is Bill Miller, who was the second base umpire tonight. So he'll put the headset down and talk to the command center in New York. Along with Adrian Johnson, the first base umpire. And we're assuming it was the call at first base, which was originally ruled safe. Got some replays coming, at least from the naked eye. We'll look at the replays. It didn't seem like it was even close. I thought he was safe, but we'll see. It may have been our best look there. I don't know how they would call him out on that. Goins was cruising down the line. Here's a closer look.
So difficult to tell from that angle as well, because we're blocked by the base runner when the ball gets to Miguel's glove.
But that angle looked a whole lot closer than the first two. So they're looking at it. And Brad challenging right away here in the second. If he loses this challenge, he will lose his challenge for the ball game. Meanwhile, Sanchez just tuning up on the mound as we wait. The run will score. That's not an issue here. It's whether or not Goins is safe at first base, and we have our decision. Safe. So Brad has lost his challenge. There's Matt Martin on the left, the defensive coordinator, who looks at all the video and then also suggests to Brad whether or not to challenge a play. Meanwhile, 2 minutes 19 seconds for that challenge. Here's the closest look we have, but Johnson may be in the way there. Yeah, the umpire. But it was a closer play than the naked eye indicated. That'll bring up Jose Reyes now. 2-0 in favor of Toronto. The squeeze by Goins drives in a run. Reyes takes high. Sanchez allowing an RBI single to Valencia in the first, and now a squeeze play with a runner at third here in the second. Kawasaki led off the inning with a double. Here's the 1-0. Reyes lines it to right, base hit. Goins will stop at second base, and Jose Reyes with his first hit of the night. So Jays have come out swinging the bats here this evening. Be their 5th hit of the game. And it brings up Melky Cabrera.
I told you when Melky stepped to the plate his first time up, he is having a sensational season. But one thing he has done a lot of this year, he's grounded into a lot of twin killings. He is grounded into 18 double play balls.
Whoa. He's got to be near the league lead.
Especially for a guy that's got some decent speed. I mean, Melky is not slow by any stretch of the imagination.
He'll drive this one foul back out of play.
It also looks like he still may be bothered by getting hit last night on that right arm.
Well, the right elbow is wrapped, but he had that pad that was on it. Now he's taking that off.
Yeah, it looked like it restricted him his first time up and swinging the bat.
Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball left side. He's going to find a hole. Goins rounding third. They send him home. Martinez bobbles the ball in left. The run will score. Reyes dives into third, and the Jays lead 3-0.
That is going to be the second error of the inning. It's a nice piece of hitting by Melky Cabrera. Got a breaking ball up. J.D. Martinez came up and rushed, and therefore he did not field the ball cleanly on the exchange. And Reyes, with his speed, he never hesitated.
Single RBI, E7, allowing the runner to go to third base. Jeff Jones is out now. That is the 60th RBI for Melky Cabrera, who found the slimmest of margins out there on the left side of the infield and just kind of rolled it through. So now you got to deal with Bautista. Still only one out. And runners at the corners. And that is it for a strike. 0-1. Bautista had a walk, scored a run in the first inning. 3 runs on 6 hits already for Toronto. He'll drive this one to right center field. That's going to get down a base hit. Reyes comes around to score. Cabrera goes to second, and they're just moving the chains right now. The Blue Jays add another. They lead 4-0.
Jose Bautista knows exactly what Sanchez wants to do to him. I told you when he was up his first time up that Kevin Seitzer, the hitting coach, has gotten Bautista to buy into trying to drive the ball the other way, especially with runners in scoring position. And he does it beautifully here. It's a pretty good swing. And for Bautista, who is a dead pull hitter.
So Kevin Seitzer has to be pleased with what Bautista has been able to do this year. 69 RBIs now.
I had the Tigers down for 2 errors. They gave Goins a base hit on that bunt right back to Anibal Sanchez, the squeeze play.
Yeah, so just 1 error for the Tigers in this inning, but 7 hits now for Toronto for the game. And a ball outside. Navarro had a single in the first.
Here's where Avila and Sanchez really need to flip the script. They need to change game plans. Obviously, the game plan they came into this game with is not working. 7 hits already, and he hasn't gotten through 2 innings.
Navarro, meanwhile, batting .320 with men in scoring position this year. And Navarro is ahead in the count, 2-0. He's hit safely in 17 of his last 22. He's batting in the cleanup slot tonight. Jays offense not suffering here this evening, despite the fact they have 3 of their starters out. On the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. A run in the first, and now 3 more here in the second. There are those numbers on Navarro with runners in scoring position. Awfully good this year. Sanchez needs a ground ball. Pickoff throw. Ooh, it was close. Suarez skating in behind the runner, and Cabrera just got back in there. Foul back out of play. 2-2 on Deoner Navarro, who has played with several different teams in his career, including New York, Dodgers, Tampa. Valencia waiting on deck. Blue Jays here in the month of August certainly playing for something. They come in 5 back in the East. And when you look at wild card situations, definitely in the thick of things as well. Meanwhile, Sanchez is about to deliver his 22nd pitch of the inning. And he missed with it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's the 7th man to bat in this inning. It's my how things could have been different, Rod, had Martinez caught that line drive off the bat of Kawasaki to start the inning.
Much different look to the inning for sure.
He got there. It looked like it hit right in the middle of the glove and popped out. Runners go, and it's hit in the air toward Martinez. He's backing up. He'll run this one down in front of the warning track. And the runners retreat. So Navarro gave it a ride, but not deep enough. 2 outs now, and here is the ratio on Sanchez. He has thrown 45 already in this game. Danny Valencia steps in. He singled against Sanchez in the first and drove in a run. Overall, his 13th RBI of the year. Swing and a miss. And I guess you could also say, had Sanchez cleanly fielded that squeeze bunt and gotten the out at first base, it would have been different as well.
It has not been a clean inning defensively for the Tigers, to say the least.
So after dropping 3 out of 4 in New York, the Tigers find themselves down 4-0 here early in this one.
And the Tigers have been an outstanding road team all season long.
Ironically, yeah, their numbers, at least wins and losses wise, have been better on the road. But that didn't show up in New York, and they trail here this evening. Here's the 1-1. That's in the air toward right field. Shallow. Kinsler back. Hunter in. And Torrey makes the catch. So they send 8 men to the inning. And the Jays out in front 4-0. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. A 4-0 lead with a 3-run second, and R.A. Dickey back to the hill facing Eugenio Suarez to lead it off. It'll be Suarez, Davis, Kinsler. The Tigers have some ground to make up now, but plenty of time to do it. Dickey ready with the 0-1. And it's a ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Suarez back in there tonight, batting .252. His first start since injuring his knee in New York. 2-1 the count.
First ever meeting between Dickey and Suarez. Suarez had not been called up when the Tigers saw Dickey earlier this year at Comerica Park.
The right-hander, 39 years old, out of Nashville, Tennessee. Suarez checked it outside. They want the appeal. Did not go, says Adrian Johnson.
That knuckleball right there by Dickey at 79 miles an hour. He also is throwing some knuckleballs at about 69, 72 miles an hour, really changing speeds effectively with that floater.
Bouncing in. Full count now, 3-2. Suarez just got a couple of at-bats in that series before getting injured in New York. He was 0 for 2. Davis on deck. And he lost him, ball 4. Leadoff man on for the 3rd straight inning now for the Tigers. Hey, by the way, it's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Here's Rajai Davis. Rajai had a double to start the ball game. Tigers got him to third base, but they couldn't score him. 0-1 on Davis. Rajai spent the last 3 years here in Toronto before coming over to the Motor City this year. Swing and a miss.
And of course, when you come back to a place where you've spent some time, you've got your favorite restaurants. I saw Rajai Davis this morning coming back from breakfast, and he said he went to one of his favorite spots here in town where he pretty much ate breakfast every day.
Nice. The 0-2 is inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, there's a lot to choose from in this city when it comes to food. Here's the 1-2. Lined fair inside of the bag at first base. Suarez on his way to third. Davis trying for 2. The throw, and he is safe at second base.
Even if Rajai Davis would have been thrown out there, it would have been an interference call because Valencia, the first baseman, got in the way of Rajai Davis as he was rounding first base. Rajai, 2 hits down in that right field corner already today. Real nice approach against R.A. Dickey. But take a look at Valencia. Going to get right in the way of Rajai Davis.
Well, the Tigers clearly have their best scoring chance now. Second and third, nobody out, and they've got the big part of the lineup coming up.
You've got to be careful when you want to run against the right fielder, Jose Bautista. He's got a great arm in right field. He has 8 outfield assists already this season. I didn't think that was going to be close.
Me either. And I mean, in the end, it wasn't, but it was a whole lot closer than I thought. He was able at least to slap a tag on him. Kinsler trying to get it done now. Looks at ball 1. Ian fly to right field back in the first. 4-0 Blue Jays. 1 in the first, 3 in the second for Toronto. Kinsler rolls it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Here's what I was talking about with Rajai Davis and Valencia as Davis got toward first base. He had to elude the first baseman.
Get out of the way.
And nearly missed the bag because of it.
Foul straight back. Looked like he may not have made contact with it, but clearly Mike Everett signaling foul ball. Totally ran after that ball as if he swung and missed. 1-2 the count. Dickey in his last start allowed 5 runs and 9 hits, and that was a ball game that he pitched against Houston. Former Cy Young winner a couple of years ago with the New York Mets. Low and outside. 2-2 the count. Cabrera is waiting on deck. Back up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. That'll score one, maybe two. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. Two-run single for Ian Kinsler, and it's a ball game again now. 4-2.
Nice short compact swing by Ian. Kinsler made sure the knuckleball was up high enough and where he could reach it, and he singled sharply right back through the box. Rasmus in center field has a great arm, but Rajai Davis has great speed.
RBIs 60 and 61 for Kinsler, and it's a two-run game. That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. When the Tigers were going so well on the last homestand, Davis was in the middle of everything, and he's had two more doubles tonight plus a run scored. So that's a good sign for at least getting the Tigers offense to wake up. Cabrera popped up in his first at bat with a man at third. And that is blocked and knocked down at least by Tolley. 2-0. When Dickey won the Cy Young in 2012 with the Mets, he was 20-6. And he threw 5 complete games that year. It's the first time a knuckleballer won the Cy Young award. And the very next year, he found himself in Toronto. Throwback, runner back in. Dickey's been in trouble in every inning so far. It's just the Tigers have finally been able to push a couple of runs across here in the third. The 2-1. Popped him up again. First base side. Valencia in the coaching box for the out. Couple of frustrating at bats for Miguel Cabrera. One gone. Here's Victor Martinez. And Martinez hit a ground ball his first time up. Grounded out to end the inning. Batting .323. Kinsler has 10 steals. In for strike one. Bouncer right back to the mound. This has double play written all over it. Plenty of time for Reyes. It's a 1-6-3 to limit the damage. However, the Tigers waking up a little bit. They score a couple of runs. Kinsler knocks in 2. For the Bernstein advantage, and Sanchez certainly has it over Colby Rasmus.
17 at bats Rasmus has had against Anibal Sanchez, and he's punched him out 11 times, including his first time up today.
And Rasmus will be leading things off here in the third in a 2-run game now. Kawasaki and then Tolley to follow. And Sanchez trying to hold the fort down now after his teammates got him a couple of runs. They'll play the shift on Rasmus, who struck out on 3 pitches in the first inning and looked uncomfortable doing so. He's going to drop down a bunt and beat the shift.
That's a great job by Colby Rasmus, who has had no success whatsoever against Sanchez. You play the shift, I'll simply take the bunt base hit. He did it perfectly. It's a great idea, and it's perfectly executed. And you see the shift here. There's Suarez. He's way over there. So he's going to bunt one right down in that area, and there's nothing anybody can do.
Do you think as the shift begins to be employed a whole lot more that more players will do this?
Well, I think some left-handers have already started to do it.
That was executed perfectly as Kawasaki stands in. Ball 1. Kawasaki had a double that started things off in the second. He came around to score.
Blue Jays did not play a very good game yesterday offensively against the Baltimore Orioles, and today they've come out with a lot of aggression.
A little bit outside. Blue Jays lost a game they probably should have won yesterday. 2-1 was the final score. They got a great outing from Jay Happ, who struck out 12 and suffered the loss. Strike called on the inside part of the plate.
It's kind of like Porcello's outing yesterday. Porcello took the loss and only gave up 1 run in the game, and he really did not have his best stuff, but still was able to battle through it and to keep his team in the game all night long, all day long, I should say.
Tigers got great starting pitching that entire series and ended up winning just 1 of the 4.
If they continue to get the starting pitching that they got in New York, and it really doesn't have to be that good, they're going to win their fair share of games. This offense is not as poor as it's played the last 4 days.
There's another bunt dropped down by Kawasaki, barehanded, and Sanchez able to throw him out.
We talked about this turf being bouncy. There's a nice Sunday hop for Anibal Sanchez. Simply grabs it with the bare hand and fires the strike over to Miguel.
Sanchez 9 of 16 on first pitch strikes in this contest. And he'll go against Josh Tolley now with the man in scoring position.
And even though it appeared that Kawasaki was bunting for a base hit, he'll probably be given a sacrifice.
Ball low. Well, I've got that down as a 1-3 in the book because I'm with you. I didn't, he certainly was bunting for a base hit. But the runner advanced. And they ruled it a sacrifice. Ball high. Tolley had to sacrifice his first time up, helping set up a run, which led to the squeeze play in the second, executed nicely by Ryan Goins. Fouled away. 2-1 on Josh Tolley. 4 seasons with the New York Mets before coming over in the R.A. Dickey deal to the Toronto Blue Jays. Now the 2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike on Tolley. Pitch count is up to 58 now for Anibal. Goins waiting on deck. Tigers fell behind 4-0, now 4-2. That's in the air to right, straight at Torrey Hunter. Not deep enough to advance the runner. 2 gone. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Ram Trucks, it's summer and great deals are heating up at the Ram Summer Clearance event today. And by Blue Diamond Almonds, get your good going. 2 gone now for Ryan Goins at a 4-2 ball game. 4 runs on 8 hits, Toronto. 2 runs on 4 hits for Detroit. And Goins looks at ball 1. Squeeze play knocked in a run in his first at bat back in the second. Was given an RBI single on the play, batting .209. Was hitting .285 at Buffalo prior to his call up. Buffalo, the Blue Jays AAA team. Strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Goins selected in the 4th round back in 2009. Played his college ball at Dallas Baptist College. That's in there from Sanchez, and the count goes 1-2. Jays already with 8 hits on the board early in this game. And the 1-2 coming home. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Goins. Jose Reyes would be next. Now Goins will step out as Sanchez takes too long here. Leadoff single by Rasmus. He was sacrificed to second. Tolle then flying to right field. And they're trying to get a 2-out hit to extend the lead. Now the 2-2. Bouncing ball back to the mound. Easy play for Sanchez. That'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left. We go to the 4th.
at bat. He took batting practice earlier and determined he was good to go tonight, and I asked him how he was swinging the bat in batting practice. He said, in batting practice, I'm swinging like Michael Jackson. In the game, I'll swing like Reggie Jackson. He's already got a single. Let's see what he does in this at bat, guys.
All right, Trev, thanks. I don't think it's advisable to swing the bat like Michael Jackson. Reggie, maybe so. There's a ball high to Mr. Hunter.
Well, his first knock was more like a Michael Jackson knock.
Was it?
Right through the infield between shortstop and third.
Was he moonwalking to first?
Jim Leland's the only one I've seen moonwalk.
That is true. In fact, the first time I ever saw Jim Leland moonwalk, it was right here in Toronto at Rogers Center. Years back, the Tigers were playing a Sunday day game after a long game the night before, Saturday night. He comes moonwalking.
Through the clubhouse?
Through the clubhouse.
Get the guys fired up.
Yep.
He was a master at that, man. He was a master at it.
It made you laugh. On the outside corner, Torrey not laughing right now. I didn't like that call by Mike Everett. Close. Torrey thought it was wide.
I think Torrey thought it was low, too.
One out here in the fourth. That sails in for a strike on J.D. Martinez.
There's a perfect example of Dickey changing speeds with the knuckleball. That one was 63 miles an hour. The one to Torrey Hunter was 70 miles an hour.
Chopper to the third baseman, fair ball behind the bag. Kawasaki throws him out. 2 up, 2 down. It'll bring up Alex Avila. Meanwhile, Dickey is 10 of 15 in first pitch strikes. Avila fanned in the second.
It's fascinating that he could be that much in command with a knuckleball that moves all over the place as far as his first pitch strikes are concerned.
Pretty amazing for as arbitrary as that pitch can be sometimes, and very difficult to control.
He does a lot of things right on the mound. We told you he pretty much shuts down the running game. You can't steal on him. He won a Gold Glove last year, so he can field his position pretty well too.
That one gets away from Tolley. They are playing to pull on Avila, but the shift that they use is not nearly as severe as a lot of other teams do against Avila. We've seen the teams have different degrees, varying degrees of how they interpret the numbers.
Teams shift different players. Sometimes the third baseman will shift into right field. Sometimes they just rotate the infield around.
Really has become a fascinating part of the game, and how teams are attacking different players. Now, there used to be shifts in, back in the day, a long time ago in the 50s and 60s, but you didn't see, wacky stuff like we see now.
The game has changed so much. I mean, with the shifts, also instant replay, the new rules for the catchers regarding whether you can block home plate or not. It's changed. I mean, drastically just this year.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Should Avila reach, Castellanos would be next. Dickey has 3 strikeouts in this contest in search of a 1-2-3 fourth. Outside. 3-2. Dickey is making his league high 25th start in this ball game tonight. He's led the league each of the last 2 years in starts.
You said he was 39 years old. He can go until he's about 45 if he wanted to.
Did he go? No, he did not. That is ball 4. Avila gets himself a walk. The infield was headed back to the bench. 2 out base on balls. Time for a game break now. We go back to the studio. Justin White. All right, Justin, thanks. Here it is 4-2. The Blue Jays at one point led 4-0, but the Tigers battled back with 2 in the third. Castellanos struck out in his only at bat. That was in the second. Ball inside, 1-0. Two balls, no strikes on Castellanos. He's going to go to 3-0 now, after getting him very quickly in his first at bat. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's in for a strike. Dickey now has gone to 4 3-ball counts in this game. And he lost him, ball 4. A couple of 2-out walks. Now we'll see if the Tigers can take advantage. So the walks starting to pile up now. 3 of them for Dickey. We're talking about Dickey pitching another 5 years. Tim Wakefield was 44. He was pitching at age 44 as a knuckleballer.
Wasn't Joe Niekro about 50?
Yeah, Niekro was.
He was up there.
That he was 50.
Charlie Huff was about 50.
Joe Niekro was 43.
43. Phil Niekro.
Let's see. Charlie Huff in his final season was 46.
Oh.
There's another one outside. All of a sudden, Dickey can now throw a strike. 2-0.
Suarez had a real nice at bat his first time up. First time he'd ever seen Dickey. And was able to coax him for a walk. Eventually scored. It appears the Tigers, at least the last few hitters, have been much more patient against the knuckleball.
Ground ball to short on the backhand there. Reyes. He'll go the short way to get the force. That'll end the threat. Dickey pitching out of trouble here in the 4th inning.
Sanchez only gave up 2 knocks 5 days ago against the Colorado Rockies, already 8 today. But look at where all the balls are to the Blue Jay hitters. They're all up in strike zone, whether they're breaking balls or fastballs. And you also have to give some credit to some of the hitters. They have been unselfish. They've gone the opposite way, as Bautista did, as Melky Cabrera did. They're making a conscious effort of making sure they get a good pitch to hit tonight against Anibal Sanchez, and they've been successful so far.
Jose Reyes leads it off, running up in the box, and he takes ball 1.
Jose Reyes is a natural right-handed batter and learned how to switch hit, and said he actually feels much more comfortable now batting left-handed because he gets a lot of at-bats batting left-handed, not as many right-handed. You hear that a lot about guys that are natural right-handed batters. They see so much right-handed pitching, they become much more comfortable batting on this side.
Reyes tonight is single in 2 at-bats. That's in there for a strike.
Dynamic player when healthy. He can fly, good defender, puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
The key words, when healthy. And that has been an issue over the past several seasons as he bounces one to first base. So Reyes got barely 2 feet out of the box. Sanchez gets his first out. Hey, the pennant race is on. Place a deposit on 2015 Detroit Tigers season tickets and receive 2014 postseason priority. Call 313-471-BALL or visit tigers.com. Here's Melky Cabrera. He looks at strike 1. RBI single for Cabrera back in the second. The Jays came out swinging the bats in the first 2 innings.
Were you surprised the Blue Jays had no activity at the trade deadline?
I was really surprised. Swing and a miss, and I'll tell you why. I mean, you can say what you want about winning the division, and certainly that is paramount. And right now, the Orioles have the lead in the East, along with the Yankees. They're in there with Toronto. But yeah, that extra wild card, you know, that opens up so many other possibilities if you don't win your division.
I guess the only other thing that they were thinking possibly was some of the injuries that they have right now to Lowry, Encarnacion, and also Adam Lind would act like getting guys back at a trade deadline if these guys can get healthy.
Well, here are some of the guys you're talking about. Now, Encarnacion, they say, might rejoin the team next week. And that is a huge bat. I mean, he was having an MVP type year before he went down.
He made the All-Star team, but he has not played since July 4th. Brett Lowry, he stays on the disabled list. And Adam Lind had a setback last night. He was on a rehab assignment and he broke his foot, and he had a setback last night.
Sanchez ready with the 1-2. And these are 3 guys that are really integral parts. I mean, look at the numbers they put up. There's power there. Lind was hitting 320.
26 home runs. And that was up until July 4th.
Bouncing in and back to the backstop it goes. 3-2. When you look at the American League East, I mean, the Blue Jays are right there, so it is a little bit surprising. And there were some words coming out of the clubhouse of the Blue Jays saying how disappointed they were that they didn't make any moves. There is Suarez handling that one, and Cabrera's out, 2 gone. A couple of ground ball outs for Mr. Sanchez.
I was talking to Castellanos before the game during batting practice, and he told me that balls that hit the dirt right in front of home plate, they act much more like natural grass. They don't get to you as fast as the ones that hit the field turf first. And he said those balls get to you in a hurry.
Here's Bautista. Ball 1 to Jose Bautista, who is 1 for 1. He has a single to not get a run. He's also walked and scored a run, so he's been on base twice. And the 1-0. Bouncing ball left side. Castellanos has it go off the glove in the left.
Boy, Tigers are not helping themselves defensively here tonight.
To say the least, that is their second error, but it could be worse. They could have 3 or 4.
No question.
Well, you mentioned Castellanos and ball founding.
Yep.
2-out base runner Deanna Navarro will stand in. 3 errors between the two teams in this game. Navarro had a single back in the first and a fly out in the second. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning in Toronto. Game 1 in a 3-game weekend set. A couple of day games the next 2 days, then it's on to Pittsburgh. Another throw back.
Bautista has 5 steals. He's been caught once.
And Navarro shoots one right back up the middle into center field. That'll move the runner up to second. Bautista, a solid single to center that came screaming by Sanchez.
Anytime you throw that pitch down and away to a left-hander, you better be prepared for that ball to be coming right back towards you. That is a changeup, and it's down, and it's whistled right back past the head of Anibal Sanchez. I don't know how he got out of the way of it. Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Anibal Sanchez's top fastball so far today. 94 miles an hour.
Oh, was that scary? Sanchez got out of the way quickly. That is the 9th hit already now for the Jays. We are just in the 4th inning. Ball 1.
The most hits this year that Sanchez has given up in any one game is 11. And he did that a couple of starts ago.
Well, Valencia had a base hit to drive in a run with 2 outs in the 1st inning. Blue Jays then got 3 in the 2nd before the Tigers scored 2 in the 3rd. That's in the air. Right field. Shallow. Kinsler. Cabrera. And a catch is made in foul ground by Miguel Cabrera. Nice running play. That'll end the inning. Jays strand a pair. Law firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. And by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. Back here at Rogers Center. It is 4-2 in favor of the Jays. The Tigers opening up a 3-game set here against Toronto. All right, Dickey goes back to the mound. He's got the top of the Tigers lineup to deal with. And Rajay swings in the first and rolls it right to Goins. 1 out. Davis had been 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles. There's Kinsler. Ian had a nice at bat in his last go round back in the third, singling in 2. He knocked home Suarez and Davis. That cut it to 4-2, and that's where we stand now. Kinsler now with 135 hits to lead the Tigers. Ball outside, 1-0.
8 straight seasons for Ian Kinsler, 20 or more doubles. He's had a nice career.
Checked it, strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Playing a whale of a second base this year as well. Just 3 errors all season long. Chopper to third. Foul just outside of the bag. Talking to several of the Tigers players recently, and we're talking about how if they can just get through the month of August in good shape. There's 17 road games this month, 2 doubleheaders as well, but schedule is much better in terms of being at home a lot more in September.
And then they'll have a chance the final 37 games of the year to just handle their business against their division. And they play 31 of their final 37 games against the American League Central.
Yeah, it'll be all right in front of them. But August, it's going to be grueling, and hopefully they'll be able to get through it.
Kansas City playing some pretty good baseball right now, but you wonder how long they can keep it going.
Drill to center field. That's going to drop. Base hit.
Ian Kinsler already with 2 hits tonight against R.A. Dickey. And he also had a hit against him at Comerica Park. You see it low, let it go. If it's high, let it fly. And that's exactly what Ian Kinsler did against R.A. Dickey at Comerica Park on June 4th.
So Cabrera now with 1 on, 1 out. Tigers have just posted their 5th hit. And the Tigers 1 swing of the bat away from tying this one up. Ground ball, third base side, deep in the hole. Tough play, and what a play by Reyes.
He's got one of the best arms of any of the shortstops in all of baseball.
I know Cabrera's not the fleetest of foot, but that's still a really good play.
I mean, he ranges far. I mean, far to his right. He grabs it. He throws as he's turning his body off the right foot off balance, but still enough arm strength to get it all the way to the first baseman on the fly. Nifty play by Jose Reyes.
It's impressive right there. The arm strength is just absolutely impressive. 2 out now with the man at second. Here's Martinez, who hit into a double play his last at bat. Ball 1. Victor has put the ball on the ground twice, 0 for 2 in this game. Low and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Martinez, a 7-game hitting streak. His longest this year was an 11-gamer back in the month of April when he was the Tigers' Offensive Player of the Month.
And Victor really has to concentrate on getting a really good pitch to hit here. R.A. Dickey really does not want to give in to him, not with the right-hander in the on-deck circle. He probably swung at ball 3 right there. .72 mile-per-hour knuckleball there thrown by Dickey.
And the 2-1. Off the plate, 3-1. Torrey Hunter on deck.
Torrey knows exactly what R.A. Dickey is trying to do to Victor Martinez. More than likely he'll walk him. There's an open base down at first.
That's in there for a strike.
R.A. Dickey has not thrown nearly as many fastballs here tonight as he did in that start on June 4th against the Tigers. He threw quite a few fastballs in that game.
You kind of expected that, though, didn't you?
He's kind of changed, though, since that start, I've heard.
Well, he's gone 3-2 now on Martinez. Runner at second base. Here it is. Fouled off.
85% knuckleballs tonight for Dickey through 80 pitches.
He had 22 pitches in the third, then a 21 pitch fourth, and that has helped him get to the 80 plateau early in this game here in the fifth inning. Little pop-up foul back out of play. One thing we do know about Dickey, he is pretty quick. In fact, he is the second fastest pitcher in the major leagues. He will deliver a pitch 18.1 seconds from the time he gets the ball. His time is second only to his teammate Mark Burley, who's at 17 seconds. That changes a bit, though, when there's a runner on base. Otherwise, he's typically quicker than that. 3-2. And he walked him. So Martinez gets his base on balls. That'll put two aboard. It's the fourth walk of the game now for Dickey.
If you haven't seen this by now, Betances, a hard-throwing right-hander for the New York Yankees. He smoked Torrey on Tuesday. It was a slider, but it was about 88 miles an hour. And that left hand of Torrey Hunter's, man, it swelled up twice as big as the right hand, but that was just 2 days ago, and he's back out there again today.
He said something yesterday that you had anticipated he would say, and that is that he'd not taken the hand off the bat. He probably would have broken it. But by taking the hand off the bat, it a little bit more limp than it would have been had it been on the bat, and certainly probably would have broken the hand at that point. Swing and a miss, and now he's behind in the count 0-2.
He got a couple of knuckleballs up in the strike zone, which is what you desire as a hitter against Dickey, but he swung right through them. Both of them.
Two on. Two out. We're in the fifth inning, 4-2. Jays lead the Tigers. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Torrey goes down swinging, and the Tigers strand two. Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Here at Rogers Center, the Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays. In a tight one here, the Blue Jays had themselves a 4-0 lead. Tigers have cut into that, and now Colby Rasmus will lead things off, then Kawasaki and Tolley. Sanchez has had trouble in every inning in terms of base runners. He has not had a clean inning yet. It looked like he might get one in the fourth, but a 2-out error, then a single, but he got Valencia to pop up. Rasmus a single and a strikeout.
Take a look at the hands of Rasmus. I brought this up earlier, right in the way of the home plate umpire.
That'll get back out of play. Usually the only time umpires have to worry about their view is when they have a tall catcher in front of them. Rasmus's hands in front of the sight lines of Mike Everett.
And what you're taught to do as a pitcher, if you've got a good fastball like Sanchez has, you throw that fastball right at his hands. I mean, they're right over the plate. David Price told me today before the game that he has thrown some pitches he thought were going to hit Rasmus this year that were called strikes.
Look out, that is hooked foul.
But take a look here at the umpire. I mean, what is he going to do? I mean, the hands are right in front of his face.
Better move. That's a great shot right there. There he goes. I can't see.
Let the man do his job.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That was a great shot there of Rasmus. Sometimes you got to improvise.
It's not right.
High towering fly ball right field. That ball is hit well. Hunter going back right in front of the warning track to make the catch. Hit it too high out there to right. 1 gone. Hey, by the way, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Munenori Kawasaki stands in. Double sacrifice for Kawasaki.
He did a marvelous job as well on the squeeze play. And Goins was the batter. Kawasaki took off at the perfect time. Perfectly executed squeeze play, and the squeeze play usually starts with the base runner. If he leaves too early, the team could pick that up, and the pitcher could throw that ball high, but he left at the perfect time.
Here's the 1-0. A little bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Kawasaki. And that's right at the belt. Here's the 1-2. Just off the plate outside, says Mike Everett. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Four runs, 9 hits for the Jays. There's a chopper back up the middle. 4 runs, 10 hits for the Jays. That's a second hit for Kawasaki. So Sanchez now in the 5th inning has 1 on and 1 out. He has thrown 90 total pitches. And both of these starting pitchers have had an elevated pitch count. Here's the by inning for Anibal. 26 in the 2nd. Here's Tolley. Strike call.
Both of these pitchers today are getting that low strike from Mike Everett. He has been consistent calling that low strike. When he can see.
Which is 8 out of 9 at bats. That's fouled off as the runner was going.
That's a good thing because Kawasaki, he would have stolen that base safely. He had a huge jump. already a healthy lead with 1 foot on the artificial surface. He's a character, isn't he?
He is. He's been on, well, you can find him on YouTube. He's a star on YouTube. He does some wacky stuff.
He'll keep the clubhouse loose.
Oh, 0-2 on the catcher, Josh Tolley. Swing and a miss. Sanchez strikes him out. 2 gone.
It's a good fastball here by Sanchez at 93 with a little comeback action to it.
So Sanchez, after recording a ton of strikeouts in his last start, a total of 12, has just 3 in the ballgame tonight.
Different team. Blue Jays better hitting team, at least by the numbers. They come in second to the Tigers as far as batting average in the American League, but they're first and second in on-base percentage and slugging percentage as a team.
Ryan Goins squeezed a run in back in the second. He bounced out in the 3rd inning. Tigers tonight have been doubled up in the hit column, 10-5. They trail by 2. And both teams will have to get into the bullpen tonight with the elevated pitch counts for their starters. And now we'll get a little confab on the mound. And Mike Everett not waiting very long. They're going to call out the trainer.
Yeah, they noticed something.
Here comes Kevin Rand along with Brad Ausmus. What's going on here with Sanchez?
Well, it looks like the right side. That's the area that he's pointing toward.
Sanchez, you might recall, missed some time earlier this year with a lacerated finger, and now he's looking to his side.
They're not going to mess around with him either. I mean, if he's in pain and he throws 1 pitch, they're going to get somebody else in the game. Let's take a look at it and see if we could detect something here. He threw over, and then he started to grimace as he walked off the mound, stretching. He's going to grab his back here in just a moment. That lat area, pec area, I guess. Avila's already picked up something. He's just watching now. Then Suarez, the shortstop's going to pick up something too.
And there he goes to his back, and that's when Avila came running out. It's going to be it for Sanchez. He's coming out of this game. Well, here in the 5th, he cannot continue. And hopefully it's not something that'll keep him out long. So wall side windows pitching change. Tigers bullpen scrambling right now. We'll be back.
Second inning successful squeeze play by the Toronto Blue Jays to get a run on the board. Very unselfish at bats. And by Melky Cabrera, also Jose Bautista going the opposite way. Both guys are dead pull hitters. The Tigers, they got on the board on a base hit right back up the middle. Now that was plated Rajai Davis and Suarez as well. And then Sanchez, if you missed it, just walked off the mound with some type of an injury.
So the Tigers now have to go to the bullpen here. And they'll bring in the left-hander. Blaine Hardy will take over.
And Hardy pitching in his 20th game this year for the Tigers, logging 19 2/3 innings, 18 strikeouts, 9 walks for the left-hander.
So as Hardy takes his warm-up pitches, we'll take another timeout. We'll come back. The Tigers down by a couple of runs. Blaine Hardy is on now out of the Tigers bullpen in a 4-2 ball game. Ryan Goins the batter, and the first thing Hardy does is throw to first base. Anibal Sanchez out of this game with an apparent injuries to his back or his side. We'll wait on the official word on that, but Sanchez walked off.
He grabbed a couple of different areas.
Yeah. So we're not really sure if it's his back.
We know it's on the right side.
And Goins looks at a ball inside.
That really didn't look like that bad of a pitch. Avila was set up outside, but where he caught it looked like it was over the plate. Didn't get the call, though, from Mike Everett.
Here's the 1-0. Ground ball to second. And right there is Kinsler. That'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. photo of the game tonight. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Tigers fans hoping for a bit of a comeback here tonight. They got down 4-0 early in this game and then came back with 2 runs. And R.A. Dickey goes back to the mound here at Rogers Center as we go to the 6th inning. It'll be J.D. Martinez to lead it off, and he takes strike 1.
We got to get you one of those fedoras that Cat was sporting right there. Did you see it?
You get it, I'll wear it.
I think that's got you written all over it.
I think you're wrong, but that's okay. We just have a disagreement. It was a pretty sweet hat, though. There's a foul tip into the glove. No balls, 2 strikes on Martinez. Avila, then Castellanos to follow.
Sorry about that. JD's been jumpy. He has rolled over to the left side of the infield a couple of times today.
That'll go foul down the right field line.
It's a nice job there, making a conscious effort of trying to do something different.
So Dickey now is approaching 90 pitches in this game. He's had 88 as we play here in the 6th. Gave up the 2-run single to Kinsler back in the 3rd. That's it. Although the Tigers have had many more chances. He's walked 4 in this game. And a ground ball to 3rd. Foul. 0-2. The count stays on J.D. Martinez, who is now 0 for his last 16. Checked it high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Missed it high again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dickey threw 111 pitches in his last start. That got him through 7. Swing and a miss. And Martinez is gone. 1 away in the 6th. It's the 5th strikeout now for R.A. Hey, Saturday, August 16th, the Tigers battle the Seattle Mariners at 7:08. Fans are invited to stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular. It's courtesy of Pepsi. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Best fireworks show in the league.
Without a doubt.
Here is Avila. Ball 1 outside. Alex tonight a walk and a strikeout. Dickey has a little bit of history with his knuckleball against the Tigers. He converted to a knuckleball pitcher back in 2005. And the first time he actually broke it out in a big league game was against Detroit.
Didn't look like he was going to last very long after that game.
It didn't end well because the Tigers hit 6 home runs in that game against him.
I remember that game like it was yesterday. Monroe homered, Inge homered, Marcus homered, Red Pop, he homered too.
Yeah, a couple of guys had multiple home runs. Foul tip right into the glove.
I remember making the comment that day after about the 5th home run, they're going to get those people out of those left field seats before somebody gets hurt.
Well, it was a rocky beginning. It was a shaky beginning, but through it all, R.A. Dickey all of a sudden goes on to win a Cy Young several years later.
His career kind of got off to a rocky start when he left the University of Tennessee as a first-round draft choice for the Texas Rangers. He was offered a signing bonus of $900,000. And before he signed it, they noticed that he did not have a ligament in his right elbow. No ligament.
Swing and a miss, and Avila goes down.
And because they detected that flaw in his right elbow, the signing bonus went from $900,000 to about $90,000, I believe.
Yeah, it was less than $100,000. Yeah. Yeah, it was unfortunate for Dickey.
But he's battled through it. He's still in the big leagues. And he's made all that up and more.
Yeah, I would say he's made that money back. 2 gone now. And Castellanos looks at a strike, 0-1.
And that was really before they were doing all the MRIs and all that stuff before they signed you. The trainer of the Texas Rangers noticed something, the way that his arm was hanging in the picture that he took for Sports Illustrated.
There is action in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. That would be Dustin McGowan, the right-hander.
His stuff works much better out of the bullpen than it does as a starter. McGowan. He could not stay healthy as a starter.
Meanwhile, Dickey has hit 100 pitches. Here's the 1-2. Chopper slowly back toward Dickey. It's out of his reach, but Kawasaki makes the play. Nicely done by the Toronto third baseman. 1-2-3 go the Tigers in the 6th. Here come the Jays leading 4-2. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. We have the meats. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here in Toronto, Blaine Hardy goes back to the hill as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And the Jays have the top of the lineup coming up. It'll be Reyes, Cabrera, Bautista. It has been 4-2 Toronto since the 3rd inning of this game. Reyes is 1 for 3, single run scored. Drops down a bunt and it's picked up by Avila. Nice crossover move there by Miggy.
Nice play by Avila. He picked that ball up before it rolled foul because he knew he had a shot at getting the speedy Reyes. Had he let it roll, it would have rolled foul. But he knew he could get the out. Picked it right up off the chalk.
Nice play. Kind of a tough play for Avila because he's directly in line with the runner and had to throw it to the outside part of the bag.
Yeah, nifty footwork by Miggy as well.
Melky Cabrera, the batter. And there is ball 1 to Cabrera.
I was asking Jeff Jones about Melky Cabrera today, and I was asking him, what are you going to do to him? How are you going to get him out? And he says he's very difficult to get out. He is just a really good hitter. Outstanding hitter is what Jeff Jones called him.
So much so that he has the 2nd most hits in Major League Baseball.
Switch hitter with some power in his bat. Doesn't walk a lot, but he's got some real nice hand-eye coordination.
Melky's always been one of those guys that would get on base and take his base hits. Never really a guy that had overwhelming offensive numbers, just very good offensive numbers. Here's Jeff Jones. And a strike called from Blaine Hardy.
Melky is a free agent after this season, and the Blue Jays don't have much money to spend. More than likely, he'll be playing for another squad next year.
That's in the air toward shallow left. J.D. Martinez coming in. 2 gone. Time for a game break now. We go to the studio and Justin White. All right, Justin, it looks like Billy Butler around starting to put it together.
And the Kansas City Royals right now the hottest team in the American League Central.
I know when we last played the Royals, we were wondering if the Royals would pick up Butler's option for next year, and he's making a bid right now with a strong stretch run. Jose Bautista is batting with 2 outs.
He has mastered this high leg kick.
Ground ball to short. He hit it straight. It's Suarez. And Blaine Hardy has come on and retired all 4 that he has faced. Kawasaki 2 hits, double and a run scored tonight. Kinsler has knocked in both of the Tigers runs, and Anibal Sanchez had to leave in the 5th inning with an injury to his side or his back. We're still waiting on word on Sanchez, but he went 4 2/3, allowing 10 hits and 3 earned runs.
R.A. Dickey just gave up 2 runs to the Tigers today. Wasn't a great outing by R.A. Dickey, but really before the Tigers could figure him out, and really the only one to figure him out were Rajay Davis and Ian Kinsler. And he got Miggy to pop up a couple of times on a real slow knuckleball. Changed speeds with that knuckleball all night long, and right now is in line to win this game. It's a real nice look at that floater right there to Avila.
So Dickey goes 6 innings. He throws 100 pitches, gives up 2 earned runs. ERA now is sub-4. It's down to 3.99. He will give way to Dustin McGowan in the Wallside Windows pitching chain.
McGowan's got a big arm, and there's true proof of that fact. 52 strikeouts. He's only been in 37 games, 28 walks. They've been trying to figure out a way to keep him healthy, and the way they figured it out is to put him in the bullpen.
Yep, pitching out of the pen these days. And his first one is inside to Eugenio Suarez. Suarez, then Davis, then Kinsler. Four to 2. The Jays on top here in the 7th. Suarez looks at a strike.
95 right down the heart of the plate.
A walk, a run scored, and a ground ball for Suarez in this game. Here's McGowan's 1-1. He is 6'3", 240 is Dustin McGowan. He's originally from Savannah, Georgia. That's where he was born.
Savannah, Georgia.
What a beautiful city.
I made a stop through there in AA one year.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you like playing there?
It was nice.
Were they the Sand Gnats at that time?
No.
Nope.
I forget what their name was, but they had a team.
He now resides in Tallahassee, Florida. Born in Savannah. 32 years old, Dustin McGowan. And the 2-2. Suarez hits it in the air. Center field. Rasmus started back. Now he'll cover a lot of ground to get there. One gone. Five straight Tigers have gone down now. More activity in their bullpen. Brett Cecil is warming up. Rest of this game will be decided by the bullpens. Both starters are out. Sanchez left with an injury, and Dickey Dunn as well as we play here in the 7th. Rajai Davis 2 out of 3. One ball, no strikes. Rajai had a couple of doubles against the starter Dickey. One in the first, one in the third.
All hard stuff here thrown by McGowan in the 7th inning. 7 pitches, 95 with several of them.
So after facing a guy all night long that's throwing in the 70s with a knuckleball.
Looks like McGowan throwing 200 miles an hour.
Fouled away. You really have to supercharge your swing, don't you?
You sure do.
Only 5 Tigers hits in this game. 2 of them belong to Davis. Trying to get something started here in the 7th, down by a couple of runs. Rajai fouls off another 2-2.
And Rajai ever so slightly choking up on that bat with 2 strikes. And trying to give himself the best chance of catching up to that mid-90s fastball that McGowan is featuring. He's been a pretty good leadoff hitter. Here are his ranks in the majors.
Bouncing ball to third, deep behind the bag. Kawasaki's been busy tonight, and he got him by half a step.
That is a really nice play by Kawasaki. He had to adjust his feet very quickly, backing up on that ball to make sure he got the best hop. And you run the danger of doing that with a guy like Rajai running down the line. Take a look at Kawasaki. Backed up to get the best hop, then fired a strike across the diamond. That's one of the things we talk about at that third base position. You don't have a lot of time to decide whether you want to come in on a ball to create a bad hop for yourself or a difficult hop or back up on it.
Here's Kinsler. 2 out, nobody on. Kinsler knocked in 2 with a single. And he takes a ball outside, 1-0. Way back in 2000, McGowan was the #1 pick. He has spent his entire career in the Jays organization. From the minor leagues to the big leagues. Here's the 1-1. That'll bounce in all the way to the backstop. It goes. 2-1 now on Kinsler. Ian has another multi-hit game here tonight. He came in 5th in the American League. He's got 42 of them now. Trying to get Cabrera up there and give him a chance to tie this game. Right into the glove on the foul tip. 2-2. R.A. Dickey goes 6. McGowan comes on, gets a fly ball and a ground out here in the 7th. And the 2-2. Popped up. Who wants it? The infield converging. Finally, McGowan is called off, and Valencia makes the play. 1-2-3 go the Tigers. Coming up, the Health Plus 7th inning stretch. Major Leagues, did you see what John Lester did last night?
Shutout.
A 3-hit complete game shutout. Wainwright and Peralta become the first 14-game winners. And Javier Baez 3 home runs in his first 3 major league games for the Chicago Cubs.
How about starting your major league career off with a bang? I've heard some really nice things about Baez.
Absolutely. They've got a pretty good future there. Some good young players in Chicago. Rizzo, Baez. Tap slowly toward third. Castellanos on the bare hand. His throw is off target, and Navarro has an infield hit.
He must be living right, Navarro. And he got a bloop single his first time up, and a swinging bunt right there. Really nothing Castellanos could do. Navarro doesn't run very well, but Nick was playing so deep. And by the time he barehanded and got it over and on its way to Miggy, and Navarro was crossing the bag.
His 3rd hit of the game. In a 4-2 ball game now. He's at first with nobody out. Danny Valencia coming up. Hardy came on in the 5th inning when Sanchez left with an injury, and Blaine got the only out there. Then he got him 1-2-3 in the 6th. Strike 1 to Valencia. Danny was 3rd in the Rookie of the Year voting as a Minnesota Twin back in 2010. Neftali Feliz won it that year. Austin Jackson finished 2nd, and then it was Valencia. And is in there for a strike quickly. 0-2.
Real nice bender there thrown by Blaine Hardy.
Line drive, base hit. An 0-2 single to left for Valencia, his 2nd hit tonight.
Both of his hits have come on hanging breaking balls. He got a hanging breaking ball earlier in the game from Sanchez, and he ripped it right between third and short. He did the exact same thing there against Blaine Hardy. Valencia's a dead pull hitter.
So with 2 out and nobody out, here's Colby Rasmus. 1 for 3 tonight. The Jays now have 12 hits, and Albuquerque warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Colby Rasmus, 6-game hitting streak. As the Jays try and pad their lead, 2 on, nobody out. Jays tonight are 4 for 10 with men in scoring position. Navarro singled, Valencia singled. Strike called.
I've seen guys that rest their hands over the plate comfortably, guys that like to stand on top of the plate, guys that like to feast on fastballs, but Rasmus takes it to an extreme where his hands come set. I mean, he's almost out of the batter's box with that front toe.
It's almost in the other batter's box. Swing and a miss. Rasmus. There's a big out for Hardy, 1 gone.
That's a much better 2-strike pitch there by Hardy. A conscious effort of burying that breaking ball to Rasmus to get him to swing over the top of it.
We'll get a pinch hitter now. Tillison picks up a bat. Tillison will hit here for Kawasaki.
Kawasaki had a pretty good day. Double and a single.
Played good defense.
He sure did.
That'll bring Brad Ausmus out. Tigers have had Albuquerque tuning up. They're going to go to Al. So Hardy will depart here in the 7th. The 2 runners on the bases are still his responsibility. Albuquerque is waiting. Do they actually call me in? Maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, he's going. You can come in, Al. Here comes Albuquerque. 4-2 ball game. We'll be back.
Play of the game, Kawasaki got on. J.D. Martinez couldn't catch the line drive. Kawasaki was given a double. He got to third base in a squeeze play by Goins, perfectly executed. Then a couple of unselfish at-bats by a couple of outstanding hitters in their lineup. That would be Melky Cabrera and also Jose Bautista, and that's when they scored the majority of their runs in this contest.
Here is Al Albuquerque out of the Detroit bullpen to face the pinch hitter Tolleson. Steve Tolleson He's already had 20 pinch hit at bats this year.
Really, that's a high number for the American League.
The numbers on Albuquerque.
He knows exactly what he's going to get. However, we saw Kevin Seitzer, their hitting coach, talking to Tolleson, and basically told him he was going to get that pitch right there. Now, it's one thing to be told you're going to get it. It's a whole other ball game trying to hit that Albuquerque slider.
Tolleson this year is 4 for 20 as a pinch hitter. He has one pinch hit home run. It came against the Athletics. Let's see what Al gives him here on 1-1. Fastball rides up and in. Singles by Navarro and Valencia.
Albuquerque is more comfortable really throwing his slider when he's behind in the count than his fastball. Commands the slider better than he does his heater.
Tolleson cuts and misses. 2-2. Big at bat here with 1 out. Tigers already down by 4. We're in the 7th. And that is lined right to third. Throw back to second, not in time. Sharply hit ball by Tolleson, but right at Castellanos.
Yeah, Tolleson finally waited long enough on one of those sliders with 2 strikes. That Albuquerque got up in the strike zone, but Castellanos was Johnny on the spot. Good base running by Navarro. Able to get back on that line drive.
So with 2 outs, Josh Thole will step in. He does have a sacrifice tonight, otherwise 0 for 2, strikeout, flyout. Thole was the last batter that Sanchez faced before departing with an injury. Back with the runners. Albuquerque throws to third. Are we calling a balk? Here we are. The runners were on the move. Albuquerque balks.
Albuquerque already balked in 1 run this year within Cleveland.
Sure did.
Yeah, that's clearly a balk. You have to step off first.
Gene Lamont, Brad Ausmus wondering if they've ever seen that before. There's a strike called on Thole. So it's second and third now, and a base hit could get a couple of runs in. Here's the 0-1. Ooh, good stop by Avila. Saving a run there. Navarro at third. Valencia the runner at second. Missed it outside. Well, your first inclination on Sanchez was correct. A right pec strain.
I didn't like the way that he walked off the mound either. He threw 1 warm-up pitch and simply walked off the mound.
The 2-1. Lifted back out of play. 2-2 now on Thole. Don't know what that will do moving forward for Sanchez. We'll have to wait and see how he responds to treatment on that. Already missed some time earlier this year with the lacerated finger early in the season.
He was also slowed down in spring training as well because of a sore shoulder. Anibal Sanchez got a later start than most of the other Tiger starters.
Tigers need to hold him here. They've got Cabrera, Martinez, and Hunter coming up in the 8th.
Well, if you're Avila and you call for the slider here, you're hoping that he bounces it. But with that being said, you also know you've got to get over there and smother and block it. Maybe fastball.
Fly ball in the air toward left center. Davis on the move. Rajay calling, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left in scoring position. We go to the 8th. The Toronto Blue Jays in this one, and the Jays have gone to their bullpen now as we head to the 8th. They will bring in a left-hander, and his name is Brett Cecil.
Cecil's got better numbers against right-handers than he does against left-handers. Pitching in his 47th game, 45 strikeouts, 21 walks. The ERA is over 4 against Brett Cecil.
Hey, tomorrow MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader as the Yankees face Michael Brantley and the Indians, followed by the Cardinals taking on the Orioles. And our coverage begins Saturday at 12:30 Eastern only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. A couple of good ball games. So here is Miguel Cabrera now to face the left-hander Brett Cecil. It is the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Cabrera, Martinez, Hunter.
Miggy 0 for 4 in his career against Brett. Makes that 0 for 5.
Yeah, it's a quick update right there. 1 pitch, 1 out. On the surface, you wonder why he would bring in a left-hander as Tollefson stays in the game to face not only Miggy but turn Martinez around to the right side and then Hunter, but you saw the numbers.
Yeah, Victor hitting better right-handed than he is left-handed this year from a batting average standpoint.
322 this year overall for Victor tonight. A couple of ground balls. One of them was a double play, and he's also walked. A little bit of history between these two. 4 for 18 for Martinez. Most of that history is good for Cecil, although Victor does have a home run.
Tigers are a totally different team when Miguel Cabrera slows down with the bat. And the Yankees were able to slow him down in that 4-game series. And he's 0 for 4 here today. You made mention of the fact that Victor got loose in the New York Yankee series, but nobody else did. Miggy, when he goes, the team goes.
Yeah, nobody was on for Martinez when he was swinging the bat. And so Cabrera now is 1 for 14 on the road trip. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good breaking ball there thrown by Cecil at 85 miles an hour, right on the inside part of the plate. Right hand goes up.
The bespectacled Brett Cecil with the black frames. 1 and 2 on Martinez. High. 2 and 2.
So McGowan was throwing 95 in the 7th inning, and now you have Brett Cecil, a left-hander, 95 with his fastball.
28 years old, out of Dunkirk, Maryland. Brett Cecil, also a former first-rounder of the Blue Jays. Low. Full count now, 3-2. Martinez trying to reach to bring the tying run to the plate. Torrey Hunter waiting on deck. That's in the air to center. Colby Rasmus under it. 2 outs. So after the departure of R.A. Dickey, McGowan and Cecil now have combined to retire 5 straight. Here is a look at the Tigers box score. And you can see they have only 5 hits tonight. Blue Jays, meanwhile, haven't scored since getting 3 in the 2nd. Hunter is 1 for 3. He's punched down a couple of times. And he drops down a bunt. Foul. That's what I love about Torrey's game, man. He understands, get myself on base. He got Martinez with some power waiting on deck. Maybe he can knock one out. It's a 2-run game. But his bunt went just foul. Checked it, strike called, and the count now is 0-2. There's Martinez on deck. Cecil ready with the 0-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Hunter strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. A 1-2-3 inning for Brett Cecil, and we are going to the bottom of the 8th. Batting now against Albuquerque. It'll be Goins to lead things off for the Blue Jays, then Reyes and Cabrera. Albuquerque came on to get a couple of outs in the 7th and back to work here in the 8th. Goins squeezing in a run to pick up his 11th RBI back in the 2nd, batting .205. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Albuquerque tied him up there.
If you're Albuquerque, you can go one of two ways now. You can simply throw Goins another breaking ball here if you choose to do so, or you can go upstairs with a fastball to get back to another slider.
Way outside.
Went fastball, but missed with it.
Two balls, one strike. Blaine Hardy came on in the 5th inning, gave way to Albuquerque in the 7th. Bouncing ball right side, fielded there by Kinsler.
Here's our call, Sam, of the game. And the Blue Jays today have played some small ball. I mean, earlier in the game, they had their catcher Tolley sacrificing, getting a runner over third. Then a squeeze play called by their manager, John Gibbons. It was executed beautifully. Kawasaki was the base runner. Goings was the runner. And then Colby Rasmus with the Tigers overshifting. Castellanos playing way over, and he was able to bunt down the third baseline for a base hit.
There's a foul back out of play off the bat of Jose Reyes. Managers always hold their breath when they put the squeeze play on, hoping that it's going to go well. Jim Leland used to say that a lot, but that's a strategy tonight used by Gibbons.
It was a perfect time for Gibbons.
It should get back out of play. Castellanos runs out of room.
One, you don't see many squeeze plays in the 2nd inning. Most managers use that a little bit later in the game, but that was the 2nd inning with a runner on third base, less than 2 outs.
Their closer is warming up. That would be Casey Janssen.
He does not throw 95 miles an hour, but what he lacks in stuff, he makes up for in command.
Reyes foul tips it into the glove. Strike 3, slams his bat to the ground and breaks it. 2 gone. Let's check in with Trevor Thompson now with a preview of tonight's Tigers Live postgame.
Mario, for the latest condition on the condition of Anibal Sanchez, tune into Tigers Live postgame. I'll be inside the clubhouse. I'll try to speak to the man himself if he's available. We'll also hear from Brad Osmus, and of course Simo and Justin White are inside the Coliseum studios, and you guys are right here at the ballpark, all coming up on Tigers Live immediately following the game. So stay tuned, folks. Back upstairs to you for now, Mario.
Gotcha, Trev. Thank you. One more out to go here in the bottom of the 8th. The Tigers, by the way, in the 9th inning will have Martinez, Avila, Castellanos due up. Melky Cabrera with 2 outs. Nice job by Albuquerque tonight. He's retired all 4 he has faced so far. Tiger bullpen doing a good job in keeping this Blue Jays offense down. They scored 4 runs early in this game, but nothing since the 2nd. Way high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Single RBI for Cabrera back in the 2nd. Pulled foul. One and two. They got Bautista waiting on deck. Prefer not to face him. See if Albuquerque can get Cabrera here. The 1-2 pitch. He will. Swing and a miss. A 1-2-3 inning for Al Albuquerque. He retires all 5 that he faces. Here we go to the 9th. Need some runs. They need some hits. They're down 4-2. And the Blue Jays have their closer in now, Casey Janssen.
He's converted 18 of 20. He has really good earned run average. He throws a lot of strikes, as I told you earlier. He's only walked 3 batters.
First pitch is hammered toward left center field. That ball is going to find a gap. It'll go all the way to the wall. That'll be a neat leadoff double for Martinez, and the Tigers now in business here to start things off in the ninth.
Well, J.D. Martinez knew he was going to get that first pitch fastball from Jansen because he throws a lot of fastballs, and Jansen got too much plate with it. J.D. was able to rip that ball into left center field where Rasmus couldn't run it down.
Well, that's a good start. The Tigers have their 6th hit. A 2-bagger for J.D. Martinez. Anthony Ghost, meanwhile, has come on to play left field in place of Cabrera.
He's an outstanding defender with a really good throwing arm, Ghost.
Avila, 2 strikeouts and a walk in this game tonight. And he takes strike 1. Blue Jays had ample opportunity to lengthen their lead in this game, but they've stranded 10 men on base in this contest. Here's the 0-1. Avila takes one on the outside part of the plate, barely 0-2. Not a deep history with Jansen. 0 for 4 against him.
He's due.
Bouncing ball first base side. Valencia has it there. He'll take it himself. That'll advance the runner with 1 out. Martinez to third base. And now Castellanos. Nick 0 for 2 with a walk. Driven deep into left field, way back. That ball is gone. We are tied up. Nick Castellanos has hit it out. It's 4-4. Oh, he crushed it. Maybe his biggest hit of the season. Boy, was that loud. And a blown save for Jansen.
Jansen throws a lot of strikes. J.D. Martinez got a first pitch fastball. He ripped a double. Castellanos, he got a hanging breaking ball and hit it right over the 375 sign.
What a clutch home run for Castellanos, his 8th of the year, and we are all tied. The Tigers had not scored since 2 in the 3rd. There's a drive to center field. Rasmus going back. Track, wall, off the top of the wall. No, it's gone.
Suarez, did you?
To deep center field. Suarez has given the Tigers the lead. Oh, my goodness. How about that? Back-to-back home runs.
But how about J.D. Martinez, Nick Castellanos, and Eugenio Suarez all swinging at the first pitch because Jansen throws so many strikes.
Oh, my goodness. Suarez hits his 4th of the year. To dead center field.
Suarez doesn't show a lot of emotion, but he showed a lot of emotion after this big fly.
In the matter of seconds, the Tigers have gone from down 4-2 to leading 5-4. Oh, some smiles on the Tiger bench now.
Oh, and they needed some smiles, too.
It looked like another sleepy night for the Tigers offense. back-to-back homers, Castellanos and Suarez. That is the first home run for Suarez since June the 14th.
Yeah, long time.
He hit 3 out of the chute quickly after his call-up. Grinning from ear to ear. There's a drive to center field. Rasmus on the run. He'll get there for this one. Well, the crowd is stunned here on the Castellanos and Suarez long balls.
Well, hitting home runs in this facility is really nothing new. The only other park that has yielded the more home runs is Coors Field out in Denver. Look at him pointing to where he hit it. Telling Castellanos, see, that's where the big boys hit. You hit George to the left. I went straight center.
Here's Kinsler. I'm not thinking he said that. He might be thinking it. So the rookie left side of the infield coming through tonight here in the 9th. Here's ball 1 to Kinsler. Joe Nathan now is going to have to heat up and get ready to come in this game. Now Jansen with the 1-0 pitch.
That's why they give you 27 outs. And the Tigers didn't quit here tonight.
There's the Tigers closer.
Bill Meyer watching carefully.
Ripped down the left field line. That ball going to the corner. It's going to get down. And it's up against the wall. Kinsler is on his way to second. He's in with a double.
Jansen throwing a lot of hittable pitches. And getting booed here tonight.
Yes, he is.
Whoa.
Jansen has not been as sharp recently. He had given up quite a few runs in his last 17, and now he's going to be taken out of the game. They're going to bring in Luke and take their closer out of the contest. Wow, the Tigers with some quick strike offense here in the 9th inning. They've taken a 5-4 lead in this one. They'll be back to Toronto. Well, the Tigers have stunned the Blue Jays here in the 9th inning. A pair of home runs. They have scored 3 times. They now lead 5-4. And Aaron Luke comes on to face Miguel Cabrera.
Luke checks in with a 3.18 earned run average, 43 strikeouts, 26 base on balls. He's pitched 51 innings so far this year in 52 games.
Jansen gave up 2 doubles and 2 homers here in the 9th. We'll see if the Tigers can get an insurance run. There's a strike called on Miguel. Jansen shell-shocked. Double by Martinez. 1 out, 2-run shot by Castellanos, and then Suarez followed it up with a drive over the center field wall.
Yeah, real nice pitching tonight as well by Al Albuquerque.
Yeah, he kept it a 2-run game. Cabrera whistles one foul, back out of play.
Miggy needs a knock here. He is 1 for 14 on the road trip. 343 with runners in scoring position, but if you go back about the last 6 weeks, Miggy right around 250 with runners in scoring position, which is really unusual for him.
He is 0 for 4 in this game. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Cabrera strikes out to end the inning. However, a couple of home runs, Castellanos, Suarez. We will go to the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Tigers' quick strike offense here in the 9th gives them the lead. Inning, and Joe Nathan now will come on for the Tigers.
Well, they need Joe to be good again here tonight. He's been good in his last 6. He has not given up anything, and that's exactly what they need here after a miraculous comeback in the 9th. They need a clean inning out of Joe.
Casey Jansen's still wondering what just happened there.
Well, that's a nice job by the Tigers. They ambushed him, and because he throws so many strikes.
Well, to make this a happy night, Nathan needs to get 3 outs. Don Kelly will come on to play third base.
Ezekiel Carrera is also in the contest. He is in center field.
And Rajay moving to left. As your defensive alignment. Nathan goes to work now. Jose Bautista looks at a ball outside. 1-0. There's Carrera. And Davis to left. Bautista, Navarro, Valencia here in the 9th inning.
And Brad playing no doubles depth here in the 9th inning.
Driven foul.
Tigers outfielders are all playing deep enough that whereas Bautista, if he hits anything over their heads, it must leave the ballpark. And Don Kelly down at third base, hugging that third base line. Get a look at the outfielders. They're nearly playing on the warning track.
Checked it. Two balls, one strike.
Dangerous count here. You must make Bautista beat you to right field in this situation. You can't give him anything that he can pull to left field where he does most of his damage in the power department.
Outside again, and now the count goes 3-1. Bautista this year with 22 long balls. He's knocked in 69.
Leads the American League in on base percentage as well. Well over 400, that is.
Now Nathan with the 3-1 offering. Swing and a miss.
Ooh, he got away with a hanging breaking ball right there. Bautista looking to tie the score.
Nathan with the 3-2. Driven to center field, base hit. Bautista's on again. Tying run aboard here with nobody out in the ninth.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game, and boy did it happen fast. Kelly Jansen trotted out of their bullpen and was greeted rudely by J.D. Martinez first. And then Castellanos took him deep, 2-run variety on a hanging breaking ball. And Suarez, as you mentioned, hitting his first homer since June, went straight central.
Boy, did that happen fast. And the Tigers lead 5-4, but now the Jays trying to come back here in the bottom of the ninth.
Nice adjustment there by Bautista on the 3-1 pitch. He was looking to hit it out of the ballpark. On the 3-2 pitch, he was basically taking what Joe Nathan gave him, which was a base hit.
And Navarro looks at ball one. He has seen Nathan 4 times officially, is 1 for 4 against him.
Oh, how nice would a ground ball be right now to one of the Tigers infielders.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Take your pick.
Nathan needs to keep the double play in order. Looks like Bautista is jockeying back and forth, possibly entertaining the thought of stealing his 6th base of the year.
5-4 Tigers. We're in the bottom of the ninth inning. 1 on, nobody out. Another throw back, chasing Bautista back into the bag, and the fans boo.
Avila's been really good this year at throwing out base runners, attempting to steal second. But Joe Nathan must give him time to throw if Bautista's running.
Avila has thrown out 20 this year, 3rd most in the American League. Swing and a foul tip into the glove. 1 ball, 1 strike on Deanna Navarro. Here are the Avila numbers. 20 caught stealing, 28%. Bautista has singled to start things off here in the ninth. Navarro has 3 hits in this game. Swing and a drive into right field. Hunter is under it, and that is on number 1. Bautista tagging up, but forcing a throw and nothing more. RBI Baseball is back with all 30 MLB teams and 2014 players. Get the retro 2-button style baseball game you've been missing. Visit RBIGame.com for more details. Download today on your console or your mobile device. Well, 1 gone now. Here's Danny Valencia. He's got a couple of hits in this game, both singles, has an RBI. Five-4 Tigers lead. We're in the ninth.
He's a dead pull hitter, and both of his hits have gone right between the shortstop and the third baseman.
Kelly's still hugging that line at third base, so there is a bit of a hole to the left side of the infield. One on, one out.
And there's proof of what I just told you, that he really doesn't use right field that much. Only 3 hits the opposite way for Valencia. They're going inside anyway, even though he's a dead pull hitter.
1-1. Valencia was acquired from the Royals on July the 28th. You give a catcher Eric Kratz and Liam Hendricks a pitcher to get him.
Valencia is still fairly young, but he's traded places quite often in his very young career.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 now on Valencia.
Nice sequence so far to Valencia. A couple of two-seam fastballs inside, breaking ball away from him. If he throws that same slider right here, he'll get the second out of the inning.
Colby Rasmus waiting on deck.
Here it comes. Oh, my goodness.
Bounced that one in, and Avila had to stop it and keep Bautista at first. Two and two. 5 runs, 9 hits for the Tigers, 4 runs, 13 hits for the Jays. They've stranded 10 in this game. Ample opportunities to build on their 4-2 lead, but they paid for it. The Tigers got 3 in the top of the ninth. Back-to-back homers, Castellanos and Suarez. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. He went back out there again and he got him swinging.
Yeah, he did.
2 gone.
Anytime you see a guy with a straight chart like Valencia's that doesn't like to hit the ball the other way, you exploit that weakness by throwing breaking balls away from him, which he did. Threw him 2 really good sliders.
So Nathan now is 1 out away from nailing down the save and nailing down a comeback Tigers win. Colby Rasmus will stand in. Hitting only .221, but he has power, 15 homers. A single back in the third, his only hit. Outside, 1-0. One for 3 career against Nathan with a strikeout. Bautista single to start the inning. He is still anchored at first base.
You can't let Rasmus pull the ball. Got tremendous power to right field. Very quick bat.
Strike.
Great location with a 93-mile-per-hour fastball on the black.
One and one on Colby Rasmus. Swing and a miss. 93 from Nathan there. And it's 1-2, 1 strike away.
Does he climb the ladder with another fastball, maybe a touch higher, to get Rasmus to swing through it again?
I bet if he does, he goes after it.
Oh, he will.
1-2.
You got to throw the pitch that you're least likely to make a mistake with it. Here he goes, buddy. Upstairs with a fastball.
Missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Colby Rasmus. Juan Francisco moving to the on-deck circle if it gets that far.
He's got some power, too. Strikes out a lot, though.
Nathan looking for that final out. That final strike. Here's the 2-2. High, 3 balls, 2 strikes. His next one will be his 20th pitch of the inning. And time call now as Avila steps on front of the plate.
Going to tell Miguel to back up behind Bautista, but don't let him get too big of a lead just in case there's a double hit. You don't want Bautista to be able to score easy.
Runner going, and it's low and in, and now that'll put 2 runners aboard. So a single and a walk. Tying run moves into scoring position. Here comes Francisco to pinch hit. And Jeff Jones out of the dugout as well.
He's going to make sure that both Avila and Nathan have the scouting report on Francisco.
23 of Francisco's last 38 hits have gone for extra bases. That would not be a good thing right here. So the conversation continues on the hill in a 5-4 ball game. Tigers trying to hang on.
Even though Francisco is a part-time player, he has already struck out over 100 times. He has struck out 102 times, which is the most of anybody in their team by far.
Well, I'll take one of those. So 2 on now with 2 outs. Juan Francisco. 16 homers. Only 2 for 11 against the Tigers this year. Ball 1. Pinch hitting career for Francisco. He does have 4 long balls, but overall just a $188. Here's the 1-0. Bouncing in, Avila stops it. 2-0 on Juan Francisco. Looked like he slipped, did Nathan?
That is now 5 straight pitches out of the strike zone thrown by Joe Nathan here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. He was able to get ahead of Colby Rasmus. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and threw 3 out of the strike zone. Just lost his footing there. He's okay.
Brad Ausmus, cool, calm, and collected on the outside. Freaking out right now on the inside. 2 balls, no strikes on Francisco.
You know, Francisco's got one thing on his mind on this 2-0 pitch.
Oh, it's 3-0 now. Ay, ay, ay. Josh Tolley is due next.
Don't throw it over the heart of the plate. I mean, you have to throw a strike, but he might just have the green light.
Way high, ball 4. That's going to load the bases. So Francisco is on. Tying run moves to 3rd with 2 outs. And we make our way to the 8th spot in the lineup. Josh Tolley. '24 9th inning pitches now for Joe Nathan. Tolle is 0 for 3 with a sacrifice. Couple of fly balls and a strikeout. Winning run has moved to second. That's Rasmus. Tolle looks at a strike, 0-1. Fastball from Nathan. Bautista let it off with a single. Rasmus has walked. Francisco has walked.
Joe walking people that don't normally walk. Rasmus doesn't walk very often, and Francisco nearly impossible to walk. Joe walked him on 4 pitches.
Now he's facing the number 8 hitter in the lineup. And that's popped in the air down the left field line on the charge. Rajai Davis coming hard. Sliding catch, and the Tigers win.
Whoa, my goodness. Thank you.
Rajai Davis comes back to Toronto and makes a sliding play in foul ground, and the Tigers hold on. How about that ending? Castellanos and Suarez with homers in the 9th, and Nathan is able to get a great play from Rajai Davis in left.
And the skipper, he can breathe now.
Final score 5-4 in favor of the Tigers. They take game 1 in this 3-game series. What a play by Rajai. And that is your ball game. 5-4 final. Back with more from Rogers Center.